In the year 1942, the terrorist group Hydra invaded a stone church in Tønsberg, Norway, in search of a mysterious cosmic artifact known as the Tesseract, which is said to have untold powers over matter. Researchers in the Arctic Circle today unearthed the buried wreckage of a large, wing-shaped aircraft. While exploring the aircraft's interior, two of the researchers find a frozen circular object with a red, white, and blue motif. In 1943, Steve Rogers is a young man who repeatedly tries to enlist in the military but is turned down due to his frail physical appearance and numerous health problems. After overhearing Rogers' conversation with Barnes about wanting to assist in the war, a scientist named Abraham Eskin allows Rogers to enlist as a candidate of Project Rebirth, a super soldier experiment being run by the Strategic Science Command. Rogers is given steroids by Eskin, super soldier serum. After seeing the results of the experiment, one of the participants reveals himself to be Schmidt's assassin, who shoots and kills Erskine Kruger. Kruger then grabs the last vial of the super soldier serum and flees the facility into the streets of New York. Rogers emerges from the chamber taller and with an improved physique. Despite trying to flee in a submarine, Kruger is caught by Rogers using his new strength and endurance, but the super soldier serum's vial is broken in the process, and the assassin immediately commits suicide by cyanide before being questioned for information. In an effort to rediscover Eskin's formula, Eskin-dead Phillips decides to leave Rogers behind and let researchers study him. Rogers is approached by Senator Brandt, who instead offers him the chance to travel the country for the USO to promote war donations, using his image as the strong, ideal soldier as a rallying point for the public. Rogers accepts, and while working for the USO, he acts in stage productions as the star-spangled character Captain America. While Schmidt shows off his new Tesseract-powered weaponry to 3 Nazi officers sent to oversee his operation, Rogers is happy to be helping with the war effort, but grows increasingly tired of being paraded around and unable to play a more direct role alongside those who are actively fighting. Meanwhile, Rogers uses the weapon to kill the officers after they learn that Germany is one of Schmidt's intended targets. Schmidt takes advantage of the opportunity to announce his succession from the Third Reich, claiming that Hydra has reached its limit in Adolf Hitler's shadow and will now adhere to his agenda. In November 1943, while performing for active servicemen and running into his colleagues from the SSR, Hydra continued to siphon energy from the Tesseract, using the stored energy to create a variety of weapons and integrate it into a range of vehicles and other technology, quickly giving the faction the potential to become a significant threat to the war front and the world at large. When fighting a Hydra, the Barnes unit was lost. Rogers finds out. Rogers decides to launch a solo rescue effort with the assistance of Carter and Howard Stark, who fly him behind enemy lines. Rogers manages to infiltrate Hydra's main factory, where he finds and frees the majority of the captured soldiers, who then start rioting and escaping, while Rogers continues on to find Barnes, who he finds in a different room where he was being operated on. Schmidt, seeing the prisoners escaping and Rogers moving through the facility, sets the factory to self-destruct to cover Hydra's operations and evacuate to another facility as the building starts to detonate. Schmidt confronts Rogers and claims they are superior to the appearance of regular people before revealing his face to be a mask and taking it off to reveal the Red Skull-like face that gave him the nickname the Red Skull. Following the release of the Allied prisoners, Rogers earns the respect and recognition of his superior officers as a soldier and is given high rank and the opportunity to fight as Captain America as a key figure on the war front, directly opposing Hydra. Schmidt and Zola make their escape, while Rogers leads Barnes to the roof, where they both barely manage to escape the factory before regrouping with the escaped soldiers and marching back to base. Rogers hires Barnes as a dum-dum Dickon. Returning to the narrative, Gabe Jones used his own team of Howling Commandos, Jim Morita, James Montgomery Fallsworth, and Jacques de Renai, to neutralize the other known Hydra operations. For the next 2 years, Rogers and his Howling Commandos lead a strong offensive, sabotaging various Hydra operations, much to Schmidt's displeasure. In 1945, the team later attacks a train carrying Zola. Howard Stark outfits Rogers with advanced equipment, including a durable custom combat uniform and a circular shield made of vibranium. While Jones finds Zola on the train and captures him, Rogers and Barnes fight with the soldiers on the train. Barnes appears to be killed when he falls from the train. Rogers, who is devastated by the loss of his best friend, is persuaded by Carter to use his grief as inspiration to finally end Hydra by using data gleaned from Zola. Rogers leads an attack to take out the last remaining Hydra stronghold and prevent Schmidt from using WMD against the US. During the subsequent battle, a machine containing the Tesseract is damaged. Schmidt physically handles the Tesseract, opening a wormhole into space and sucked into it in bright light. The cube falls to the ground, burning through the plane and falling into the ocean because there is no way to land the plane without risking the detonation of its weapons. Instead, Rogers crashes it on the Arctic shelf as he somberly bids Carter goodbye, promising to take her out dancing despite the fact that he would be unable to keep the date. The Tesseract is later found by Stark on the ocean floor, but he is unable to find Rogers' body or Schmidt's airplane. Nick Fury informs Roger that he has been asleep for nearly 70 years after Roger awakens in a 1940s-style hospital room and assumes from a radio broadcast that he is out of place. Roger is shocked by this information and can only say that he had a date. Thank you for watching. Why don't you consider subscribing while you're here? We have the best recaps around and would love to have you part of our community. Thank you and see you in the next one.